Hello, everyone. A very good day to you all. Today, we'll be creating this flyer in CorelDRAW. To begin with, we need our background. But before you start, click on File, Create New, and then you're going to name your work. So in this case, I just want to name it Flyer 2. Just name it Flyer 2. With a size, I usually prefer a square size since I'm going to use this for social media. So I prefer to do a width of 11 and a height of 11. So just, if you already have this default, you can keep it. If not, you can change it by 11 to 11, and then you can keep the rest of the information the same. Click on OK, and then you have your empty workspace. So to create the background, you first need to go to, let me first of all copy these, my color palette. I'll leave a link of these textures in the description so you can follow through and get the same textures for your design as well. So to start with, you're going to double click on this rectangle tool. You see, as you can see, it automatically fills up your canvas workspace. Then the next thing we are going to do is to get our background. Okay, and our background is our primary color. So our background is this color you see right here. So in the same tool, in the same tool panel, you're going to use the color eyedropper tool, this tool right here. You click on it, and then you click on the color you're trying to select, which is this color over here. I click on it, and I drop it onto the square space. And then as you can see, it's automatically filled up. Okay, this is a very cool tool that's going to help you a lot in CorelDRAW. Then from there, I'm going to select my first texture. So I want to put this texture inside this space. So what I'm going to do is to go select this, right click, and then go to power clip inside this. And then as you can see, it fills it up. I come again, I pick out this second texture, do the same thing, right click, power clip inside my background, and I have this. As you can see, this background has a black outline. I don't like that. So in your color docker to your right, I'm going to just right click this delete sign or X sign. And then when you right click, as you can see, the outline moves away. Now, from there, we need to bring in our logo and work with our logo. So I'm going to import a logo. So when you bring in your logo, you're going to drag it along. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm using my own personal logo. So this is your Patel, and I have it in here. Okay. So from there, we're going to move on to create our our theme's logo. So that's W, M, and G. So we have W, M, G. So since this is going to be the main theme, we're going to make it a bit large. One of the principles of design is hierarchy. And since it's the main theme, I want people to see it, we are going to make it very large so people can see it. And now the font I'm going in for is Blush. It's called Blush Aslering. Blush Aslering is a very cool font. You can get it online. If you don't know how Blush Aslering, you can use any other font that you have. You can just Google Blush Aslering and then you are good to go. So that's what I'm going to use. Now I want to center this text within my background. So with the text selected, I select the background as well. I hit C, letter C, and then it brings it to the middle of my design. Okay. Now let me also duplicate this. Let's say Control D. Do Control D, duplicates it. Okay, and then reduce it a bit. Now I'm going to type the word conference. So you double click and then it highlights everything. Or you can double click and then do Control A. It does the same thing. Then you're going to type your conference. Then adjust it. Now the font I'm going to use for the conference is different. So that font is called Southern Air. Southern, like the word Southern Air. Okay, I'm going to leave a link in the description to describe the name so you can search and get it as well. So that's that. So and with the conference, I'd like to change the font to one of these secondary colors. And the font I'm going for is this. So I go back to my color eyedropper tool. I have this, and then I just drop it off on this. Then I have my conference. Okay. The next thing we are going to do is to bring in the theme. So the theme, I select my rectangle tool. I drag it across like this. And then I go to this shape tool. This shape tool is called F10, the shape tool. Okay, the moment you select the shape tool, as you can see the the sides of the rectangle now has like some black squares. So you just pick one of these, just hover your cursor around one of these curves, and then just drag it, drag. As you drag, as you can see, the 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 side or the corners start getting rounded. So now that you are done with that, you pick up the freehand tool, this freehand tool right here, and then just select any side of your rectangle, select, and then hold shift and drag. Okay, then that's that. So we want to create a theme. Let's put it on here, right here. So to type any text, you can pick up your text tool right here. Pick up the text tool, and then you start typing theme. Okay. And the font I want to go in for is called Montserrat. Montserrat is a very clean font. It's used by most designers because it's very clean, very legible. So that's what I'm going in for. So I'm going in for Montserrat. So I'm going to give it now. Another principle of design is contrast. As you can see right now, you can see the black text on the dark background. When I zoom in, you can see it's very difficult to read. So as a designer, make sure you always have sharp contrast between your foreground elements and then the element that are on top of that foreground. So this text should at least be white or any other color that gives a very good contrast. Now I'd also like to select the background as the rectangle we created earlier, whose corners we curved, and then on your color palette, right click the white color, right click the white color, it gives it a white color. The same way, I'll select this straight line and then right click the white color, you see a white color. So now that we are done with that, I can just duplicate this by clicking Ctrl D and I get a duplicate. I have a theme. My theme is so that is that. Let me reduce the font a bit. And then after that, you go to these horizontal alignments, these alignments, sorry, and then you can choose center to center everything. Okay, so now I click with this text selected, select this text as well, and then hit the letter C. Sorry, hit the letter E. Good, and you're good to go. And now that with both selected, select the rectangle and then hit E again, and it centers everything within. So we are done with our theme section. The next thing we'll be going on to is the letter 2025. Okay, so we're going to use our rectangle tool, and then we just drag it along like this. We'll go back to the shape tool, and then we drag along the corners, okay, to create this beautiful design. And then right after that, we're going to go to our fill, which is this yellow. So you can just click on the yellow right here and get the same thing. Or you can use the color eyedropper tool to pick your yellow. Color eyedropper tool will help you a lot as a designer starting out, because sometimes you want a design, you want a color from a particular shade of your images, and you can use the color eyedropper tool to pick that color. So it really helps a lot. So, and then right after that, now we have our corner curved. Now hit Shift Q, Control Q, Control Q. Control Q converts this into an outline. You may not have seen a lot of changes, but when you double click, you can see that now you now suddenly see these edges that you can manually manipulate. Okay, so I want to manipulate it. I want to manipulate it a bit. I move it up. So now, as you can see, this side is a bit um it's a bit straight. So to curve it, you can also go in here with this selected. You can go to the curve, convert to curve. It converts it to curve, and you can hold the edge of it and just drag it up. And then you can get a cool shape. So this is a shape I'm trying to get. And then I'm going to slant the shape a bit. So when you click it once, you have these square boxes. When you click it twice, it turns into these curves that you can just adjust and move along. So this is what we are looking for. Try your best to get a very good shape that's a bit close to this. And now I go to my text tool and I type out my 2025. So the same font I want to use is Montserrat. Okay. Now I'm going to, since this font is going to fall on this background, I still need it to be black. I don't need to change it to white. White on a yellow background is not good at all. So don't ever try that. Now try and adjust the angle of this text to fit my rectangle. So I'll change this, slide this a bit. Then I reduce the font a bit as well. So now we have our 2025. Then we want to bring in a small circle to create something like an exclamation mark. So hold Control and drag. Have a beautiful circle right here. So I also give the same yellow color. Then I right click on this X mark to remove the background. Sorry, to move the outline. So right here we have our 2025. Now I want to bolden this a bit, so you can just hit bold. You're good to go. All right, so it looks like we're almost through with our theme. Just reduce this a bit. Now with everything selected, you can just hit group. Okay, and everything is grouped together. You can move them together as a group. All right. I'm going to select everything here on the theme as well. And then I'm coming here and then group my objects. I group everything together. That's also grouped as well. So just make sure everything is nice and centered. Okay, so I just like to adjust everything a bit to make sure everything is nice and centered. Now I want to create some curves around the W and then the G. So go to the freehand tool. Okay, this is the freehand tool right here. Click on the freehand tool. And then I want to create that a bit of like an outline. So with your freehand to just create anything, just drag along the line. You're able to drag and draw anything you want to draw. So just drag. This is something, this is what I want to draw. I just draw it. And then it's an outline. So I can increase the outline a bit to maybe 1. This is a slightly thicker. And then I'm going to give the outline a color. So I'm going for one of these colors. So first of all, I want to duplicate it. So Control D, and then I drag one of these down. Then I can just enlarge it a bit. Good. To create that feel or to create that vibe. And then I'm going to my color eyedropper tool. I pick the yellow and I fill it onto it. And then I can go back to my color eyedropper tool. This time around, sorry, go to my color eyedropper tool. This time around, I pick this color and then I drag it onto it. So as you can see, we have that there. I select everything and then I can select everything, both of these, and then I increase the outline size. Okay, as you can see, the size increases based on the information I pick here. So this is the outline width. So now we are going to group everything together. Now that you have both of them selected, group it together. And then you can do a Shift D, or sorry, Control D. Control D duplicate it, and you can hold Shift and drag it along like this. And then after that, you can mirror horizontally right here. Mirror horizontally right here. So I think I have my theme ready. I'm going to select everything and then group everything. So we have now with our theme selected, you're going to select the background and then hit C to center everything. Okay, let me increase my logo slightly. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to go to the text tool and then type out presents. Presents. Okay. Reduce it a bit, maybe to size, maybe a 9. Okay. And then I go back to my shape tool, this shape tool. Okay, when you select the shape tool, you can see these two signs right here. You can hold and then drag. Okay, this increases the space within your text, the characters of your text. So I think so with this selected, I can give it the same yellow color. Do something, you have something like this. So presents, I think it's a bit too small. Increase the font to be 12. So it's a bit visible. So with the text selected, select your background and then C, then you center it as well. Then we are good to go. So little by little, we are building on our design. All right. So at this point, I just want to save my file. So I'm just going to do Control S, or alternatively, I can go here to this save button and I'll save it. I just want to name this flyer 2. Save it on my download. So I'm going to name it as flyer 2. Let's see. All right. So now that we are done with the theme color, I just want to add one more feature to the background. So select your freehand tool, just like we did for these wibbles, you can do the same thing. So for the background, so it's also F5, or you can just go here and then click on the freehand tool, and then we are going to create any shape, a nice shape that we want. Okay, this is the kind of shape I want. And then now that we are done with the shape, I go to the outline tool. This time around, I'm choosing a very huge size. So let's say I'm going for 36. So from there, you double click your outline, okay, and then try and adjust a bit. Try and adjust these arrows so that it looks a bit nice as it stands now. First, as you can see, that the size this it's not so nice. So just adjust it. It kind of makes it smoother, and then we have it right there. So I can click on this twice, any of these twice, and then it's automatically deletes it. Okay, so we have something like this. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So I want to change this text color to this primary color. Sorry, this outline color from black to this color. So I'm going to pick the color eyedropper tool again, and I select this color and I drag it on it. And as you can see, I have that. And since I don't want my background to be so clear, so intense with so much information, I'm going to make this a bit transparent. So this outline will be a bit transparent. I go to my transparency tool right here. Okay, click on the transparency tool, and then I select this uniform transparency right here. As you can see, it automatically reduces the opacity to 50. But then I want to go higher than 50. The higher the opacity, the lesser you can see the design. So I usually going for something like 75. I think I want something like 75 or maybe 70, but anyways, let's just keep it at 75. So I'm going to select this and then power clip inside this space. Select it into this. So that's what I have here. Yes, so now it's about time we bring in our people. So to that, you're going to click on this import sign. Here you can do Control I. So I click on my imports. So I'm going to select these three. So make sure that by the time you're bringing in your people, you already have you should at least try, and I'll leave a link of these people. It's royalty free and it's shareable as well. So these are my speakers for the event. So I'm going to just readjust their sizes and all that. So now that we have them all selected and positioned, I'm just going to increase the size of the first pasta and the lady pasta as well, and then the second pasta. Make sure I'm just going to, all I'm trying to do right now is try and make sure that they are, sometimes you have images from clients and the images, some of them are, others are bigger, others are smaller. So trying to make sure that all of them are at least have a similar size relative to each other. Okay. If with the first pasta selected, I'm going to hit my transparency tool. Okay. Now I guess set this, you can put your cursor around his head here like this, and then you can drag, just drag. So as you can see, the bottom part of his body is now transparent. Where we have the black is transparent and where we have the white is opaque. So we want to see more of his upper body. So I'm going to move this circle down. Just hold and drag it down. Okay, as you can see, something like this. And now this is what we are looking for. Okay, so in the same way, you can select the lady pasta, and then you can go in the transparency tool. Last person we're also going to go in for is this pasta as well. You can also just select your character, go to the transparency tool, and then you can go to this copy transparency. So you already have a transparency on these two, so you can just copy and paste the same thing on him. So you can do copy, and then you can select whose transparency you want. So in this case, I don't just use this pasta. And as you can see, it's automatically applied to him. You can make a little bit of adjustments later to your specific person or object. Okay. All right. So now I have all of them selected. I want to move them a bit closer to each other. Yes, these a bit close. I think I like this. And I'm going to group all of them. Everything is selected here. I'm going to group all my objects together. Okay, I have them all grouped together now. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to duplicate them. Click Control D. Control D duplicates them. As you can see, we have a duplicate. Okay. So let me keep them in their spots. So they are duplicated now. Then you're going to go to bitmaps right here on the top where we have file edits and stuff. Go to bitmaps, then convert it to bitmaps. Convert it to a bitmap. Okay, just leave everything here the same way you see it. Click OK. All right, now we have our bitmap. As you can see, there's a difference, right? Okay, from there, you come to trace bitmap. Okay, click trace bitmap, go to outline trace, and then we are going to do line art. Okay, just click on line art, and then we just click on reduce bitmap. So as you can see, there's a clear difference. Yeah. So now that we have this, you are going to click on group objects right here with your line art work now selected. You are going to click on this on group objects right here. It ungroups everything. Okay, as it has ungroup everything, just select everything back again. And then this time around, you're going to go to create boundary. Okay, create a boundary. So as you can see, it's automatically create a boundary around our design. Okay, so you can just hold and select your boundary. So this is the boundary you are looking for. That's all we are looking for. Then I'm going to delete the rest of this. Okay, so I can here just double click this, and then you can drag all of this and just hit delete. Drag this and then delete. Drag this and delete. Then you can just hit this, okay, and then just hit this convert to line. So we can have the full shape. Okay, please let me know in the comment section in case you have any question with this. Right after this, I drag them onto the rest of the design. And then over here, I can give them the yellow color right here. Click on this yellow color. As you can see, it comes with a black outline. So the same way I right click, I remove the black outline right there. So now we want this to be behind this new texture to be behind our people, okay, our pastors. So we are going to right click, then go to order, and then behind. So we're going to select behind. And I'm going to select the object I want to go behind, which is these. Okay, so we have them behind like this. You can position them beautifully. Position them beautifully. All right. But then as you can see, it looks like they are it's a bit difficult to see them. So we're going to increase the outline. So we're going to choose maybe an outline of 4 or maybe an outline of 8. Okay, and then we're going to right click on this yellow color. And then we have that. Okay, so right now we have our speakers almost ready. Now moving on, make sure you select all your speakers. Okay, and then just do a control G, or you can go to group elements right here. Okay, now you have everything grouped and everything selected right now. So you have your rectangle, and then you drag the rectangle right across board. There's the space where we are going to have our text and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to pull our speakers a bit upwards. Okay, right there. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to bring in our text. Like, of course, you are having a conference, and people need to know the dates and so on and so forth. So for the dates, we are going for Friday. So I'm going to just go through this a bit fast. Okay, so we have Friday. We want to highlight just one of these. We want to highlight the April 25th, since that's the real main information. So we do Control K to break the text into two. Control K, it breaks the text into two, the two parts, of course, up and down. So I just want to highlight this to make this a B. Okay. I remember the font you are going for, it's Montserrat. Make sure your font stays consistent. Don't use more than 3 fonts in a design. Okay, so this is the font we are going for, which is April 25th. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to select my freehand tool, and I'm going to drag, hold shift and drag. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the size to maybe a 2. Okay, then next thing, the next thing I'm going to do is to add the time. So Control D, duplicate this. Time is 7 p.m. 7 o'clock, sorry, 12 p.m. All right. So we are done for that. So I'm going to go through fast the other sites, which is the other days. It's literally going to be the same thing. So I'm just going to fast track everything, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you. Okay, now that we have dates selected, I can go back to the freehand tool, and I just click, hold shift and drag. Okay. And then I can increase the outline size again to maybe 3. And then I double click, and then I can just curve this a bit. And I'm going to give it the same outline color as my background, which is this color right here. So I'm going to right click this, okay, then shift and hold, sorry, Control D, sorry, and then shift and drag, and I'm out right here, as you can see. And then to group everything together, and then hold my rectangle, and then do a C, positions everything in the middle, as you can see right here. The next thing I'm going to do is to add my venue. So the next thing we're going to do is to bring in of course, our information with a few icons. So over here, I'm going to go to my icons and then select my icons. And then another feature I forgot to add is the arrows. So this arrow was an arrow I got online. So you can just use any arrow at all you want to use. So this is an arrow I got online. You can just yeah, just use this arrow. Sorry, just drag this arrow right here. Okay, so yeah, this is an arrow I used. So I just got this online. Okay, you can just get online any arrow at all. This I'll add it to the items in the description, so you can have this that same arrow as well in use. I think from the back, I can hardly see the present, so I'm just going to increase it a bit more again. Then I just drag it down right here. Awesome. Our design outline is looking a bit okay so far. So yeah, let's add our icons and we are done for the design. So, so we need a web icon right here. Okay. Drag it down here. Okay, so usually your icons will come in this black color or this black shape. Okay, but this of course Control X, Control V. This is not what we if we place this on here, it's not so nice. We just want all of the background, we want to get rid of all of the background. So select everything, just select one of these, okay? And you go to trace bitmap, just like we did for the our character images. Just go to line art, and then as you can see, converts. You can also uncheck or check one of these. If you also do remove work background, if you uncheck it, do not remove the background, so just keep everything as it is. And then just, so as you can see now, has no background, and then you can change the color to whatever color you want. So I'm going to do the same thing for the email and then the color as well. Okay, so the next thing is you're going to add is maybe you can add your phone number, you can add any other information you'd like to use. So just do a Control D, duplicate, change the text color to white, and then just do a +1, maybe 857, 123, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're good to go. Going to reduce the size or increase the size a bit. Okay. I'm going to do the same for the rest of the icons. So now that we have everything almost set, just hold all of them together, and then click on E to make sure that they're all positioned vertically, literally the same. And you can click on group, or I drag this a bit. Then I click on group. Then with everything selected, I select the background and I do a C and center everything. Okay. Now I forgot to add the information for our pastors. Of course, we need to have their names. So just hold this rectangle and do a Control D. So and let's just drag it right here. The color I want to go in for is this color. Okay, so we're gonna go to our color eyedropper 2, pick this color eyedropper right here. Okay. And then I'm also going to apply a transparency. So I pick the transparency 2, then I drag up. This time I drag it up. Okay. Make sure it's a bit straight. So I drag it up this way. Awesome. And then I can hold and drag this up slightly a bit. It looks curved. I don't like this, so I'm going to come back again and then work on that. Just adjust your handle and then make sure that it's clean and even. Now that we have this, the next thing I'm going to do is to pick my text tool and then write posts, type post. Now instead of that, I can, all right, let me just type posts. Okay, Control X, Control V, give it a font color of maybe yellow. Okay, then remember we are using the same font, so I'm going to go to Southern Air. That's the name, Southern Air. I'm going to leave a link in the description. In my description, I'm going to describe the fonts I use so you can get the same font. So Control D, and then you can name change this to maybe Reverend. And sorry, I'm not going to use the same font, or else you maybe not really see. Use a Montserrat. Okay, so reduce this a bit to Reverend James and say Pastor Mina 1 grade, something like this. 1 grade. Okay. The shape, hold the shape too, and then you're just going to drag this a bit. Sure, it's a bit close. They're going to go with the alignment into center. As you can see, we have that. I can change this font to white. Okay, and then we have that right here. Our posts, reduce it slightly, and then position them in the middle. We're going to do the same thing for our guest speaker as well. Yeah, so guys, this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you learned something today and you're going to try this thing out. It's not difficult at all. One thing I would encourage you to do is that always get inspiration online from other designers, learn what they are doing, and then you can improve upon it accordingly. So this brings me to the end of our flyer. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you all so much.